Well, hello people, and welcome back to part 31 of Yokley, our no mods Cities 2 build. Hope you're having a wonderful day. It's been quite a while since we made an episode of this series, but there's a new patch arrived for CS2 this week, so I thought I'd dive back in and get involved in a project back in one of my favourite builds. I really love this city. It's surprisingly big considering how young it actually is, only 31 episodes. But today there's a wonderful space between the countryside and the edge of the university that's ripe for some suburban expansion using a few of the unique buildings with some key arterial sight lines to continue to develop. Should be a lot of fun. Welcome back to Yokley, everyone. Alright everyone, welcome back to Cornegg University. Not been here for a very long time, and indeed it's currently a university plagued by garbage issues, despite the fact there is ample garbage service for the processing status, at least in the city. So hopefully they'll be picked up at some point. We hope. What is bugged and what is intentional is pretty unclear at this point. But this area today is what I want to work on. So we currently have a bus depot here, which is getting used. There's 18 of the buses out in service at the minute. But I don't really want this, I think, on Main Street. That's a bit more of a side street building, I think. So I'm going to put that down there. And now with Yokley kind of running out of, I guess, dense area here, I'd like to try and use quite a few of the unique buildings today. And I'm happy for a little bit of medium density, I think, to appear by the university. I think we'll start with the square centre. Commercial signature building. Again, I don't want to go too high. I'm jumping to the town over here. I want to see how that stands. So we can see it from here. It's this building right there. I'd probably say no more taller than the technical university is really what I want to do with developing the density in this part of the town. Now they have added the Ice Flake Arena, which I think if there's going to be a spot for this arena by the university, perhaps almost as some sort of varsity stadium, might be a good shout here for me. Do you want to bring this in, atop the hill? I think we're going to do it. We'll have to relocate our tram stop, which is okay. That's just a generic tram loop station. We can quite easily throw in another one of those. Let's have... I guess we're going to have quite a lot of residential out here in the field boundaries, so where do I want to put this turnaround? I'll have it there for right now. We'll also have a couple of tram stops down the main street as well. So we'll send the tram down this way from this point. And the tram's coming down here, so we'll also have it stop outside the square centre. And then again, maybe a block down the main street, and then it can terminate, or I guess just turn around, I suppose, at the building over there. So you come in there. Stop at our new stops here. And everyone's happy that can be removed now. And let's also add them onto the stops directly outside the university. The buses are okay. I don't think I really need to reroute them. Cool. So let's grab the Ice Flakes and arena, and we'll have this right up close here. Are we happy with this positioning? I think, well, the other alternative is to have it facing the main road, which I think might actually be the better angle. Oh, then again, this, yeah, I think this staircase exposed at the main street is the one, right? The trams are so loud. Yeah, I think having that staircase exposed to the main street there is definitely the play, isn't it? How much detail we can gather on the street corner there. Okay. Track not connected, that's fine, because you're actually no longer needed. We'll remove them. The buses are still going to stop directly outside with the cyclists too. Do you want to add cycle lanes through here? Going back to National Road, isn't it? Glancing back to Ithaca, which of course this map is very heavily based on, this area here is basically row home housing across pretty insane terrain. So that's likely what I'm going to do with it here. So cycle lanes could be welcome down there. I think we're going to go ahead and prepare it. It's hard to say no to cycling, isn't it? And then we can't actually add it to the bridge, which is a little bit sad. But it's okay. I don't want to lose that bridge, really. Let's have cycle come down here. Do you also want to send it down the hill? Where does this road go? Back down towards the highway infrastructures in the downtown, really. So, probably not. No, probably don't need cycling down there. Yeah, okay. I think I'm going to run with the Ice Lake Arena then. Now, because we do have an arena here, car parking is of the utmost importance. I'm going to run a road here. Let's turn our topography layers. There's the terrain around here, and across Yokeley, of course, as we've come to realise, is not flat. Well, indeed. It's an absolute nightmare to build on. So let's level all this out. We've got some waterways here, which I don't want to disturb. Again, we know how sensitive Yokeley's water can be. Want to maintain the shape of the land. And we're just after a bit of a steeper cliff. Because I think we'll have some nice low outer lying, relatively wealthy residences not too far from here. And I think this would be a nice place for them to live in the forested suburb just outside the university. So with those in mind, let's go ahead and sketch ourselves out a little road network frame here to accommodate those houses. Try and keep it whole grids where we can, of course, while we're zoning in Yokeley. Not too much of an issue, of course, if you unplot the growables, but I'd rather have whole zonings here. So that gives us a wonderful little forested suburban road network to play with here. Basically just following the curves of the landscape and then linking that up with straight connections from the arterial road here. Let's return back to our main street here. So I think I want some more big commercial. And I think there's a nice building. Yeah, this one here. The Eastern European Shopping Centre. I think complements the Square Centre. Is that its name? Yes, it is. Square Centre really nicely. Plus, it's got more stairs. Which we know how much we appreciate stairs here. Actually, almost wondering if it's worth just switching the position of these two. Because the stairs might really complement each other, actually. This general perspective. Yeah, I think we'll do that. I think we'll do that. This can move next door. We'll do Want to do directly next door? I think I might actually leave a tile in between so we can have a pathway and the wide pavement path is actually very welcome here for linking those two spaces together. I'm happy with the change in texture. Kind of really highlights the two different developments, doesn't it? And then I want to feed this. I guess we'll just go all the way through, right? That's going to make the most amount of sense. And we're colliding here. But there should be fine. Maybe even wrap it up around the side. If it wants to not be obnoxious and not work. There we go. Yeah, isn't that wide pavement path just kind of a goated asset? Yeah, okay. Might end up using all of these spaces. I'm going to feed that one down there as well. I think certainly some other unique buildings in here to complement that. The Eastern European Theatre could also be a good shout here. See if we can turn this onto its side. We could if not for that pathway, and I think I do want it on the main road. That is kind of the orientation I'm most fond of today. Which I guess is a point and a lesson in orientation, isn't it? Even in CS2, having the big, chunky main street assets appropriately sat makes an enormous difference to the build for me. Especially in vanilla without the benefits of anarchy and move it to further refine our placements. Bring that path back behind and then we'll come into the grid here. That still should connect. Yeah, wonderful. And then if we can find one more, that'll complete this kind of perfect block of unique buildings. I think we'll throw in the Bait and Bistro restaurant. And then the sports bar pretty much will sit next door to it. But we will lose the pathway, which is fine. It's not like it's a massively necessary connection there. Okay. I think I'm going to be on board with those. We'll just have two recreational bars behind. Which again I think is all appropriate kind of surrounding, isn't it, for the university campus here. Theatres, cinemas, bars, restaurants, etc. With our surfaces here, I think I'm going to let the theatre surface take over. And we'll draw this out as a main decorative plaza space where we can embellish, I think, a lot of the same designs that are on the building itself. Probably a fountain here. If there is no major central spot, is there? Probably just here. And of course, there's all these new covers now, isn't there, from stations, all the different pavilions that the wonderful Bad Peanut has blessed us with. Wonder if I can actually squeeze one of these in. Let me sacrifice fountain. Or Pavilion 9. And then I'll do some other benches and whatnot around here in our detailing time lapse. Well, if I can use one of them, I think I'll be happy with it. Okay. I think I'll have it there. And we've got someone walking through the complex now as well. As we said, like, look at that detail in there. Like, isn't this where really vanilla CS2 shines through? The surfaces and the paths and little props like that pavilion. Yeah, I'm just going to go into the building. Fantastic. Great stuff. A fair few cyclists also coming down the road here now as well, which is quite nice. Sweet. So we've also got not enough customer warnings just down the street. So I wouldn't mind introducing some residential here. Now, I do want it to be quite affluent. And I'm most interested, I think, in the row homes. Dutch is probably a little European looking for me. What row homes was it we used in Upper Benedict? Down the main street. Those houses okay? Oh, did you see that? Are you okay, CS2? Just popping textures in and out. This is mostly... It's mostly mixed use, isn't it? Holy smokes, you guys alright? Is that the trams? Why are you so busy? You were waiting for a tram here? Why? Yeah, you are. That might be a little too much. It's mad busy through here as well, isn't it? Yeah, this is really busy through here. And you're completely full. In fact, over capacity. Where's that extra person sat? Are they on the roof? Okay. Let me have a look at the line details here just a second. Yeah, I think we might have to assign some more vehicles here. Or increase the ticket price. I mean, I don't want to make it less accessible for them. That feels quite cruel. But I do need less people to be taking the line. Okay, well, in that case, let's just go ahead and go to full 20 vehicle capacity. I should send them out from the tram depot and then we'll see if they indeed need any more. And that line's only going to get worse because that's that same tram line coming up through here. But either way, I think I'm going to go for some southwest row homes. Now these only grow in fours, I think, don't they? I like to sit here with threes. Yeah, I'm okay with that. We'll keep these running in pretty big blocks all the way down. And we can also consider some education here too. Both high school and elementary are needed. So now I know we do have, obviously, these buildings within the university campus itself, but I don't think any of them are capable of being upgraded to grab that capacity. I'm pretty happy with the configuration of the campus here. So yeah, I think we'll just place a new school. It's fine. Let's grab our elementary. I haven't used the UK one overly often. Maybe just sat behind the homes by the bus depot. I think the UK asset, it does sit quite nicely with the bus depot actually. I think it's probably going to clash with the southwest homes behind it. It does just do a simple job for us, doesn't it? In fact, we could probably do with another elementary school as well. The Japanese one's massive. How about the Dutch one? And if it's all red brick vibes, it sits quite nicely in the background of the bus depot here. Do you want to add any upgrades to this? The extra garage isn't going to fit here, is it? But we can get that in. And that as well. Is that just extra classroom here? Extension wing? Probably do two with those. Yeah, they'll fit together quite nicely, won't they? Alright then, I think I'll go for a little bit of red brick through here. That gives us some school capacity. And then with high school, something bordering medium density is what I'm on board with. In the Netherlands, high school again. Does give us quite an impressive main street building, doesn't it? It's about the height I'm happy with for the area. Also looks a little bit municipal as well, doesn't it? Apart from the Vogue school on the front. Yeah, okay, we'll go with that. Also gives us some parking decals behind it. Right, that should be enough for education. Do you have any upgrades on you? Yeah. We'll go for both of them. Though I'm not getting used. And that should be okay. There's an argument to be made for more elementary, but I think I might have to put that elsewhere. And then maybe even the Eastern European fire station just next door. Something a little more older than... just so it sits nicely next to the Dutch school. Really like that extension on the back actually. Isn't that angle on the building just very nice? Yeah, okay. Then we'll go with them. That gives us fire. We also want police as well. Where is the nearest police station here? There's two of them in Upper Benedict, but I think certainly with the campus and the stadium and all this shopping nearby, another police station is definitely justified. And I'd like something that can sit, I think, with the school. So maybe next door here. So it kind of gives an edge to this one there. We're going full Dutch here today, it would seem. Wasn't intentional, but it's happened. Yeah, okay. We'll have that. Again, it's nearby to the arena, so that's going to make sense for me as well, you know. And then we should also have a look at some car parking too. I mean, 3 medium covered solars fit and sit perfectly. I can't really deny that, can I? I'll have that there then. And then here, perhaps some custom car parks using the parking roads. Let's go for... if we were to do big 2-lane. If I brought that in as connections there, I'd probably do some custom configurations. Yeah, okay. Let's roll with that. We'll do some medium car parking here. So we'll grab our 2-lane angled. I'm going to draw that in the full width of this space up until where it will fit. And then we'll do just some basic alleyway connections into the car park like that. And that should fit quite nicely next to the stadium, and then we can just drag those surfaces up. I'll just stick with the landscaped grass either side here. Looks like they have kind of direct access into the arena from those car parks now as well, doesn't it? Sweet, I'm happy with that. It's really starting to come together, this whole little area here, isn't it? Let's continue adding in our suburban services here. I am left wondering why there are so many buses here. I wonder if we've encountered new bus bugs perhaps on the new patch. There's an awful lot of them just barreling out here for no apparent reason. These should be well staggered out on their line by now. So, we'll see what happens with the bus station, I suppose. But it's very randomly busy, although, has to be said, it's getting some nice use of transfer points between all the different bus lines, isn't it? I'm actually left wondering if we're stressing Yokeley's transit system so much now because it's just so big. Like, it's 116,000 people. Just on buses and trams. Maybe a metro system. At least an underground version is probably due at some point now. Let's continue to add our services. I'd also like death care through here as well. Now, I think we could have a cemetery in here. Maybe even isolating this block here to be a cemetery, which I think would be quite a nice way to kind of blend out of town, possibly. I think down here. I think we'll go with that. And then around the rest of the stadium, I wouldn't mind, I think, some mixed use. And my favourite of the mixed use is always southwest. I think we'll also bring some of that down Main Street as well. Let's get that growing. About 4 deep tends to be where that's going to go, isn't it? So we'll have that there. Then that pretty much does it for most of our services, I think. I'm happy with all the unit buildings. We could do some residential signatures here. Do have some smaller condo blocks. Maybe let's remove some of this row home housing. I'm not overly precious about that. We'll have some of it present, of course. And then Gatehouse Residences feels a little grand for this particular area. As does the Polaris Suites. Might even throw down the Iron Press building here as well. I think that'll sit quite nice with these older style buildings across the street, won't it? And then definitely in these spaces here we have a little bit of commercial demand. So again, while we've got the old red brick, let's go for some northeast commercial, I think, here. Then with our residences out this way for our low density stuff, I think we'll run, and I'm tempted for Japanese because it's, how are we going to grow if we just zone up here? I think it's the most luxurious of all the low density styles, isn't it? It just looks quite upmarket, if you like. We do have some Japanese housing out here. Over this way. Yeah. I think I do prefer it. Especially when you get some of these bigger plots here, right? It's actually amazing. Really nice house in the Japanese stuff, isn't it? With some very low power lines over here. But otherwise, I think we're at a good place to go ahead and expand our ideas now. Mentioned to get lots of our low density sprawl around here. Terraforming any nasty edges that have come from the work we've done so far. And also draw out a modular cemetery again. Things that we did all the way back over here, past this massive sprawl of Yogley. Yeah, just another little modular cemetery here. But not so symmetrical, because this one's very designed, obviously, to be super symmetric. Something a little more freeform, I think. I really do forget how big Yogley is, you know. Like, we've done so much in 31 episodes here. I think it's honestly me still getting used to the scale of CS2. We also have some traffic issues by the port as well. Now, this is coming from ports now recognizing that there are goods here for the city to use, which they didn't previously, apparently. So yeah, we might have to return for a traffic fix here at some point. I'm not sure what the fix here actually is. Yeah, why is it they're stopping? What's actually... It's this turn here, is it? Into that container building? The small container yard? Yeah. Okay. Well, it looks like we've got a traffic fix incoming at some point. It's backing up all the way through here as well. It's not a small jam by any means. I think it's just AI idiocy, where they're all trying to barrel into the port. They're also not using this left lane here either, despite the fact they're using it on this one. Why are you doing that? You're all coming out then turning left anyway. Why? Just go straight, just use this lane. It also goes the same direction. I wonder if I just delete that, does that solve the traffic? Because I think they're stopping and starting here trying to get the goods in, and that's what's causing them to back up. So I'll obviously have to re-detail this. I just don't think it's going to work having the port there, is it? That's letting them in much quicker now. Well, there you go, now they're using the left lane. That must have just been because that warehouse was there then. Okay, well we got a little bit of detail work to do in the port as well. Which we'll do today. We'll come back and fill that out so it's not empty, and then just see if that helps the traffic a little bit. Because it is bad coming out this way. It's also starting to back up coming off the highway as well. So it could be a lot of fun for us to solve, I think, wouldn't it? But either way, grab yourself some snacks, and then we'll be right back with new town centre detailing time-lapse. guys, let's have a little detailing review, shall we, of the extended town of Upper Benedict, which probably has one of my favourite sight lines in the entire town here. Really love the views up from the campus. Down the main street, of course, which is a gradual uphill climb. With some really nice orientation. Lots of big, important, unique buildings, service assets. Staircases really coming into their own in these spaces, aren't they? Really like them. Then through here, just have still some quite busy buses. Did end up removing a few of them off the line because it was just going absolutely crazy. I'm not sure if something in the patch has affected it, but there's still a lot of buses, to be fair. And there's also a vast amount of people walking down this road, so I added in one of Peanut's crossing things here, which does get occasional use. I also wonder if I need to remove crossing from there to force them up it. Yeah, it does seem to help, doesn't it? Okay, maybe we'll do another one of those then. On the opposite side of the road. Under our paths. Let's grab this one here. And again, just place that there. Then remove the crossing from the road. Yeah, because it seemed to be the cause of a lot of traffic here, just the amount of pedestrians crossing over the road. So we'll see if that helps it. Again, they come with Peanuts Stations pack. Very nice indeed. Wonderful. So they're in it anyway. And then back across to our build today, we have our car parking in here, a couple of parks with their own parking, of course. Ferris wheels, apartments. There's a mix of apartments and mixed use in different formations around here. I did some custom car park work for some medium density, I guess condos or more apartments if you like. This is southwest apartment zoning, this stuff. I really like how it sits with the car parks, right? It's just a little private, almost gated condo kind of community vibe here. Backing up onto those main street buildings, of course. A little bit of northwest commercial worked really nicely, I think, backing onto the end of the bus station. Just a bit more of an older commercial district through here. Which of course joins up the concrete quite nicely, I think, between them all. As we fall down the street, we'll see those trams getting a little bit more use. Speaking of, actually, let's also check the other insane tram stops we saw earlier. This one's much clearer. And then we should also have a much clearer one a couple blocks down, yeah. Significantly less people waiting here now. It's a really busy tram network. It's easily the busiest one in the city, I think. Taking people all up and down this hillside. And that will be the end of the line now. This tram line won't go any further. So this is as busy as it should get, really. Unfortunately, no one's moved in to the Ice Lake Arena yet. It is still available for rent. So they built a stadium without a team to buy it. But aesthetically, I really like it in the grounds of the Technical University, right? Definitely serves that varsity arena aesthetic I'm after. So happy with that. Further down the street, it's row homes, mixed use in various different combinations. Mixes of Southwest and Japanese housing as well I went for the low density stuff. Further up here, we have some behind commercial car parking configurations, just to fill some awkward space where the zoning was really shattered and not friendly for zoning at all. So just some car parking, a little bit of sand and rocks, and general landscaping opposite a med clinic, which has also been placed in here as well. I think it's just a really nice section, isn't it? I really love stitching these kind of suburban spaces together. Kind of like behind building car parks. Just a lot of fun for me. Over here, we had kind of a massive block behind, again, some more mixed use and apartment zonings, which I didn't really like. So I ended up drawing in a custom car park again, either for people living or shopping here. And because we now have the historical building function, which you can see, these buildings here have been made historical. It means I can now sketch out their surfaces without it ever changing again once it levels up. So just drew in some commercial delivery detailing around the back here where all these little alleyways have formed. And then the same thing over here again as well. So allowing us to create some really nice, authentic spaces in total vanilla. Like, look at that. That's so cool. Like, huge lover of the detail you can get in with a little bit of clever use of surfaces of buildings and zoning and car parking. Like, something like this in CS1 is very heavily modded to achieve that exact visual there, right? So huge fan of that. Just love it. Great stuff. Historical building feature is so important for vanilla, especially in CS2 with the surface sketching. And then on the edges of this, both sides, is just more of that low density sprawl. Bring us back to the university with great views here across the whole of the, I guess, the Benedict Valley down into Shelton over there, and Hollandaise a little bit further down the highway. And then we have our hedge-lined cemetery, which is exactly that, different configurations of gravestones, reflecting pools, the hearse garages over here, and with a big hedge lining all around it, just to break up a bit more of an awkward shaped city block, with some significant death care for this side of the city, because the other cemetery is literally the other side of the map from here. So there's definitely needed one. You see people enjoying the cemetery here indeed. Watch out for the hearse. And then we've actually got some of the commercial from the bridges and ports stuff down here, which has formed itself up into some very nice alleyways around the back with the way it's zoned in, and then also some southwest strip mall looking stuff also here as well, again, which is all zoned in really nicely to create alleyways, industrial detail in between those blocks as well. You should also see, there we go, these tram stops are now finally working, which is very welcome. The attack noise, or I guess the attack value on the volume of the trams is so off. I think they really need to rebalance those sounds. It absolutely destroys my headphones when I'm sat so close to the tram. It's like it rises too quickly. Does anyone else get that? With the tram, any volume really, the trains are the same too. I do think the sound needs to be balanced a touch. Leaving the town is where our field boundaries start, and I have just taken the opportunity to insert a few functional farms in here as well. You can see them in action here. Textiles and vegetables, I think, are out here. Again, it does just give us that effect of moving tractorage, if you like, within the wider field aesthetic, which then really takes us into the wider farming and industrial aesthetics of the city, which has turned out really nicely. I really love the countryside of this bit of the map, especially from this smaller town over here, kind of flowing across our functional and fake fields, with the stream and the field boundaries bringing us back into civilization before, you know, the big town kicks back in. So a big fan of the flow and how this whole little town has blended into the countryside that lives on the edge, and this definitely will be the extent of the civilization. We won't go much further beyond here. You know, this is farming and fields out here. I think really with more developments on this hillside to come, we'll jump back to Ithaca to reference this in another episode, I think, which will kind of really complete Yokeley, because there's not that much left to do in it, to be honest. Again, it's something of getting used to the scale. There's probably some builds we can justify up here, but again, it's likely just to be more endless farm field space, like we have currently over here already. And then over back in the port as well, just a quick update. They just draw in some extra surfaces, cones, and shipping containers to reinforce the port vibe, which has just really great views from here, doesn't it? Now we're finally back in the summer, up to the port and the harbour. The traffic is still slammed and will continue to be. I'm actually not sure if the traffic light is causing them issues. Maybe it is just the traffic light, that is. That seems to be giving them a problem. Yeah, maybe it is that. But either way, this new patch, if you haven't seen the update video that we posted on the channel this week, one of the patch notes references that your industrial and commercial buildings were not using any goods in these ports. Basically, the Bridges and Ports DLC function of, you know, importing goods wasn't working because your buildings wouldn't use them. That has now changed, and this is what's happening. Now everyone's using it, and it's crippling the traffic systems around it. It is getting better. It was backed up to... Okay, it was backed up to here earlier, but that's cleared, but now it's backing up here instead. So it's still pretty busy on the roads into the port. I guess we'll just see with those changes If it still affects them, yeah, they're all they're all just backing up here. Yeah, so let me know if you're also experiencing some heavy traffic within your port areas, because Yokely certainly is after the patch. I imagine most other people's port traffic will also be pretty intense. Otherwise, I'll shut up and leave it there. Massive shout out to the YouTube members and patrons bankrolling these videos. Links to Patreon and Instant Gaming are the best ways to help support the channel down below. And likes, comments and shares on these videos always help them to reach more people. Sorry, this has been kind of a really absent series in the last few months. I mentioned in the update video, just the state and the graphics and the flickering of CS2 have really made me not enjoy recording it the last few months. Kind of really makes me irritated a lot of the time. Trying to play this game when it doesn't behave itself, but it is getting better, and in all fairness to it, I have really enjoyed putting this little Suburbia together today. I hope you have enjoyed it. Either way, hang around for the cinematics, and I'll shut up and leave it there. I'll thank you all again so much for watching, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day.